once more. I have another message just come to me. I was just having a little lie down, which I often do, just for a few minutes. And when I opened my eyes again after snoozing off, I was given light codes. Now, I have talked about light codes before in the past. We have been receiving, my wife and I and others, have been receiving these light codes for a couple of years now. I think I first received them from the Arcturians, and the light codes I've just received are from the Arcturians. I know how they feel by the way they look in my mind's eye, and they've changed. And several years ago, whilst I was receiving light codes from the Lyrans with my wife, we just get told we're sending you light codes, and they send us the light codes. I've started to observe the differences in the codes that we were receiving, in as much as how it made me feel. Everything for me is about feeling, not about thinking. It's how I felt they were being downloaded. As an ex-computer engineer, I was trying to visualize it in actual serial form or parallel form of download, like a SCSI drive, actually. It was more like a SCSI drive than a normal connection of drive. And everything was coming down at once, like in a parallel way. Other times it's drip fed down in more of a serial way. That's how I was perceiving it. I also noticed that when at times I've connected to the Venusians, most people will think, oh, who are these Venusians? The Venusian beings of love and light, who are our neighbours, and they're not in bodily form. They're a lower vibration than the Arcturians, if we want to talk about that, in as much as numbers of where they exist. You know, it's not about being better or not as good when you say lower and higher. It's just about the place they exist in. And they are a much closer density, much closer dimension where they live to us. I suspect it's higher fourth, fifth dimension, thereabouts. So the light codes from the Venusians, when I received those, were of a different feeling to the light codes of the Lyrans or the light codes of the Arcturians. They felt very different. So I've noticed there is definitely something different about each one. And yet, the goal of each of them is the same. The goal, it's not that they have them and they're given to us. They are using a vehicle to send them to us. I believe, and rightly or wrongly, remembering that everything I tell you is what I believe that these light codes are coming from what we call the central sun in the center of our universe. They come to us usually through our sun as radiations. So they might manifest to us as solar winds, solar flares, emanations from our sun, gamma rays, whatever. They come through us in a physical way. That's how we can feel them. So they're definitely coming to us physically, and the one goal I am aware of, that I've been told many times over the last few years, is that their main purpose is to open the old strands of DNA that have been left in limbo for many eons or many thousands of years, and to also open up new strands of DNA that we've never had before. And apparently this has always been planned in our genetic making when we were originally created. Because for those that don't know, I did message some years back about us being androids. And this is how people are finding out now how true that is. That if star beings came here many millennia ago, many millions of years ago, whatever it was, and used the beings that were here to be modified to become us, so that our souls could enter these bodies, then they had planned ahead for, like we would, if we were building a machine, we would plan for it to be able to be updated, to take on new challenges, to be able to do new things, new tasks. And that's what they've done with us. They've left something open in our DNA strands so that they can be altered. And this is what the light codes have been doing, in my view. And this is what I've been told. And the one thing I wanted to talk about is I often use the word ether, spelt A-E-T-H-E-R. And it's something I've gleaned from my days as a theosophist, where my understanding of ether is the medium of which light travels. It's not just visual, physical light. We're talking about the light, the vibration of light, as we call it, the healing energy that we call light, the energy we transmit as light, the energy that comes to us through the universe as light, like codes, for instance. This medium is the ether. I can't say what else. Madame Blavatsky would give you a lot of different views on what the ether does. Can't say any more than that. That's what it means to me. I don't want to get too complicated about these things. I like to make it simple. And so the ether allows this light to travel through to us. And as spiritual beings, we're able to access that ether in the work that we do on ourselves that allows us gateways to go into that ether to pick up various things, such as Akashic records, memories of things, soul memories, events that we need to know about that are coming our way. They all come to us through the ether, actually. Interesting, I thought. So I hope that I don't want to delve too far off the beaten track, but I just wanted to talk about the light codes so that people are aware. If they're feeling these vibrations, I'm not going to divulge how I feel them or how I sense them. Those that are receiving them, if they're getting them from directly via star beings, they will be told that they are receiving the downloads, which we call light codes. They're different from downloads, although they are, of course, downloads, if that makes any sense. They're not the old-fashioned downloads. These are the new downloads, the light codes. That's all for today. Namaste. If you've got any questions, leave a comment, and only nice things, please. And do a like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm, which will help these videos get out to more people. Namaste again. Thank you. Thank you for listening.